Hey guys, how you doing? It's Daisy with yet another Marriage for Real video, and I am particularly putting this one out for all of us Christian married people, but some of you really take too much time blaming the enemy for things going wrong in your marriage and not enough time looking at yourself and the things that you may be doing wrong or you might need adjusting.
We'll just keep on praising him, raise him up. Oh yeah, you see people taking their place in your love. Oh yeah, as you keep your light in our lives from above. Oh yeah, you just spark the fire that fires me up. Oh yeah.
Some of you guys are spending morning till night rebuking, binding and pulling down the strongholds of the enemy in your marriage. And I'm here to tell you that sometimes the enemy has nothing to do with it. Sometimes Satan's walking around minding his own business and you're calling his name and he has had no hand in the issues in your marriage. I'm going to list some of the things that you may be doing in your marriage to make things go wrong or not as well as they should be, and yet you're blaming the enemy for it. So the first thing that you guys need in your marriage obviously is love and commitment, or even a commitment to love. Now what do I mean by commitment to love? A lot of times we may feel in love, we may feel a flurry of emotions that we relate to as being love, but let me explain to you that actually love is a decision that you make every single day, whether it feels good or not, whether you feel like it or not, whether they deserve it or not. You make a decision to love, and if you're not making that decision to love, your marriage will fall apart, whether the enemy has anything to do with it or not. If you're not making a decision that every single day I'm going to choose to love this person in an active and real way, then your marriage is going to suffer. The second thing that you need in your marriage is faithfulness, sexual faithfulness, financial faithfulness. If you're not faithful in your home, that is down to you. Satan didn't make you become unfaithful. The enemy didn't confuse you to be unfaithful. You made a choice. And a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about here are choices that you make. Again, we will blame the enemy. We will say that Satan was involved in the breakup of our marriage. But I'm telling you, whether Satan is involved or not, if you are not faithful, being conscious about the things and the people that you allow into your home, not putting yourself in a place of temptation, protecting your lover's heart, protecting yourself, protecting your body, then you are going to be causing your marriage damage. Satan has nothing to do with it. They are choices that you make. And if you're grown up enough to be in a marriage, you should be grown up enough to protect yourself from temptations or things that will make you fall out of faithfulness. Guys, if you are not a humble person in your marriage will not work. Satan doesn't need to come in and mess you up. The enemy of your home doesn't need to lift a finger. If you are full of pride, you never see the wrong in your life. You never see where your weaknesses are. It's always somebody else's fault. You are just going to be building a whole load of resentment and hurt in your marriage that eventually is going to destroy you. Like I said, the enemy or nobody, in fact, has to lift a finger to hurt your marriage if you are a person who cannot be humble, rather you are full of stinking pride. The next thing that needs to be in your home is forgiveness and patience. And again, if you don't have forgiveness and patience in your marriage, nobody needs to help you to destroy it. The fact is, people are going to upset you. Your spouse is going to disappoint you. But if you're a person that you haven't got enough patience to let them grow, to allow them to become better people, to allow them to change, and secondly, you have no forgiveness, you don't need the enemy or anybody else to come in and destroy your home, because the fact is you are going to be placed in a position where you're going to need patience and forgiveness a lot of times in marriage. You know, you can have relationships with all of the people, but there's something about marriage that really does require you to pull out every ounce of forgiveness and patience that you have. If you're not prepared to be a person that is quick to forgive and gives people space to change and to grow and to show you that they want to be a better person, then your marriage is going to fail faster than you thought it would do. No calling down, binding or rebuking Satan is going to change that. Guys, Satan does not control your time, you do. The enemy of your marriage doesn't control your time. And one thing that your marriage definitely thrives on is time. You guys have to spend time together. With the business of life and the responsibilities of life, people working and having children, all sorts of things going on, it's so easy to miss out on the fact that you and your spouse need to have time together. Relationships are formed and bonded through the time that you guys spend together, getting to know each other, understanding each other, and growing together. And if you're not being very, very specific and intentional, then you're just leaving a huge hole for your relationship to fall apart. You guys are going to find yourself growing apart very quickly. And I've seen this happen with plenty of married couples where you've both been so focused on your careers, you've both been so focused on making money, you've both been so focused on raising the children that your bond has slowly started to disintegrate. And that's when you find that before you know it, you're talking about divorce and you never knew how you got there. The enemy had no hand in that. You have to be sure that you are taking time out every day to have a moment together, at least a moment together to connect where possible. And obviously you know that I'm very much up for regular date nights and getting away from it all so that you guys can really remember why you got married in the first place. Guys, if you are a liar, if you cannot be honest in your marriage, you are the enemy of your marriage. It's you. Not Satan, nobody else flying about, no demonic powers. You are the enemy of your marriage. If every time you are lying, you're dishonest, you can't tell the truth, I don't know where you're going, I don't know when you're coming back, you tell me right, you really mean left, you tell me up, it's really down, you're always hiding things, you're making me suspicious, you're making me uncomfortable, I'm not secure in this marriage. If you are a liar, if you can't be honest, you with your own hands are destroying your marriage. There's no point in us binding and rebuking and casting out. It is you. Guys, we need honesty and we need to have trust in the marriage. Trust takes a while to grow, so you need to be making sure that you are working to be an honest person. You're building the trust day by day, showing your spouse that they can rely on you, that your words are your bond, that you mean what you say to them. You know, and that's how you grow a strong marriage, when your spouse knows that they can fully trust you, that they can fully rely on you. Take away trust, you have no marriage. And obviously, you know the big one, everybody always talks about communication. But I'm not just talking about the children, communicating about your schedules, your plan for marriage, your plan for your life. I'm talking about communicating about your heart, your dreams, your hopes, changes, things that you aspire to. You know, I really mean finding out what is going on in the heart and the mind of your spouse. Really sitting down and listening beyond the words. And when you guys can communicate in that way, you will find that you guys create such a strong bond. You guys really need to work on ensuring that you guys communicate on a deeper level as frequently as possible. Lastly, if you are selfish, everything is about you, boo. Your time, your way, how you like it. Forget it. Satan didn't need to come. He didn't knock on your door. Your marriage didn't fail because of Satan. It failed because of your selfish nature. It is not possible to exist in a marriage that is all about two people becoming one when all you can see is you. You're not compromising. You're not sacrificing. You're not thinking about what I need. You're not thinking about how I feel. It's all about you, boo. Why did you even get married? You got married to destroy it, because that is exactly what you are doing while you're selfish. The whole thing about marriage is sacrifice. If you're too selfish to sacrifice, to compromise, to even meet me in the middle, to consider me sometimes, our marriage is going to be on the rocks. You need to be the person that is asking, what can I do for you? How can I make you happy? I find a lot of couples spend a lot of time saying, he didn't do this for me. She didn't do this for me. He needs to do this for me. I need. If you can take some time to say, you know what can I do for my spouse every day? One thing that I can do for them to make them happy. You will find that Satan can try and come knocking on your door. He will have a very, very hard time getting in. You know what? These are just a few things that married couples need to do And that if you did them, you wouldn't need to be pulling out your hair, binding and rebuking, because you guys would have a tight unit. Anyway, these things are principles of a good marriage. When the enemy does come knocking on your door, you can confidently rebuke him because you've got the foundation correct. You've got the foundation set. Alright guys, that's your lot for today. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to stay connected with me and you want to stay up to date with more videos that I'm doing on how you can have an absolutely amazing marriage just like me. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, all under the name of Marriage for Real, and watch out for my next video. Stay blessed.
That I can't ignore what's waiting for me. I'm not sure, but I'll give